Hi, this is Chris and Jakub from Pagepro, and today we're going to speak about our favorite headless CMS. So we're going to discuss three detailed use cases of Sanity and also four general use cases. Jakub, great to have a chat with you again.
Hello.
Please tell me why Sanity is our favorite headless CMS.
Yeah, of course. Sanity is like the most flexible CMS in terms of development. Uh, from the CMSs that we were using, it's like the one that prioritized the development experience. So it's very nice for developers, and it also allow end users with all of the features. So it also allows for a lot of customization, and we can build a lot of custom tools with it. So it's a great tool.
Okay. Thanks. So I had a chat with other agency owner last week, and we were also speaking about Sanity, and we were trying to find UVP of Sanity. So what is unique about Sanity, and how to communicate that for our potential customers. And it was pretty hard because from the end user perspective, Sanity has similar features than that all of the headless CMS have. So in this video, we're going to discuss the most useful use cases that we see, and also it's based on our experience with some projects. So let's jump into the first use case. So the first use case, the first good use case of Sanity is using Sanity for enterprise websites. So I'm thinking now about our Val project. So this project was for global corporation, and this corporation is operating on different markets. So the website had a lot of contents, different language versions, different regions. It had blog posts, landing pages, resources section, authors sections, section with downloads. And I remember that customer, our client, liked Sanity because it had all of the features he wanted. So they wanted to have multiple users, different roles, because there was different team managing different language version, and they also were able to easily set up some rules in the content. Of course, they had some integrations. They had job board integration. They required SSO because their corporate governance and rules required that. Jakub, do you remember this project, and do you know what Sanity features were the best for it?
Yeah. So in my opinion, the most important one was the SSO integration, which allowed them to manage their users inside of their system. They were using the Azure, so they can do it in one place. And like if someone will be removed from company, they can easily revoke the access, etc. And also the security. SSO is more secure, so those two factors were very important for them. The other one was the scaling ability. So Sanity is expose their API, and we use their own API, which is very scalable and very fast. So if you have high traffic, the Sanity is not slowing down. So it's very important for them. And also you mentioned the multiple, how did you call them? Multiple language versions?
Regions,
During
maybe
development, we called
locals.
that, during development, we called that tenants. It's not exactly a tenant, but it was easier for us. So yeah, we were able to do it within a single data set without forcing them to like go for higher plans or buy more data sets. which is also very important for them. And what else was very important? Yeah, those two things was the most important one. There's also like custom roles, multiple languages, but that's like, it's mostly used in almost all of the projects. So it's like the default ones that we are going with.
Yes, I also remember that they were on V2 version when we started the project, and then we updated that to V3, and they had new preview experience, and they were happy that now the preview works better. Do you remember what is different in the new version?
So this time we are talking about the studio. A studio is the place where you update your content, like the admin panel for your data. And the most important change is that you have your like visual editor right on your left side, let's say, and you see how your page will look like for the end users. And also, if you click on any element on this visual editor, you will be like the right side panel will open the corresponding input to this field, so you can just update this field and see live changes in a very good way, like very user friendly way. So that's the most important change. Previously, it was like in V2, you were able to see how the page looked like, but you need to manually find the corresponding input fields, etc. In V3, it's like connected, so it's very good. And also they're like updating this feature, and you will be able to click on this left panel and like add new elements, etc. So it will be even better. And also reordering the sections. So they're going in a very user friendly, like the best UX as we can.
Yeah, and I think this is a very good move from Sanity side, because as we started, it's easier for us to tell what technical features are good for this CMS, but what about the users and the clients? So this visual editing experience is much better, and for corporate websites where you need to design very nice looking landing page with set of ready-to-use blocks, this editing experience is very important. Okay, so let's jump into next use case. So the second use case is using Sanity for media and publishing platforms. So also we're going to speak about one specific project. It was called GP, and in this project we had very specialized type of content. So this website had around 40,000 content pieces, and those content pieces had different structure and different relations between each other. So it was mainly specialized medical content, and also this content required from the client some specific workflows, and also some, as I remember, longer history, because by default Sanity has I don't remember 90 days history.
It depends on the plan, but yeah, it's 90 days.
Yes, and client, because of legal obligations, needed a lot longer history, so we had to do some custom things, and this is another technical aspect of Sanity, that it's very easy to customize it. But let's get back to the business perspective. So this platform had a lot of contents. Contents have different structures and different relationships between different content types. They had multiple editors, and they also wanted to have real-time collaboration. So one content can be edited in the same time by multiple people, and also they wanted to have whole history and all of the changes with specific dates, and also who edited the content. Yeah, so this is how I remember this project. And when we were thinking about which CMS to use for it, Sanity was the only option. one other option that we could consider was custom solution, but the customer was migrating from custom solution because it was very hard to maintain. So we couldn't offer this kind of solution. And yeah, I think Sanity was very good choice in this project. And also it opens a lot of new possibilities. So after the release, we could do a lot of other things in the content, and they are planning to use the same content that they have in Sanity to different platforms, not just for the web. Jakub, do you remember this project and some specific technical things? I know you remember this project because you was working on it longer than 1 year.
Yeah, I remember this project well. So as you already mentioned, there were a lot of like features that that Sanity offers. Like for example, scaling. You mentioned that they have a lot of documents, and with like basic plan, you have a specific amount of documents, which is like 20K or 40K. It changes. I mean, now it's that plan that we have, it has a different name than it used to. So they changed those things very often. But yeah, in general, those limits are not hard. I mean, not final. You can scale up and just pay for the data that you are using above the plan. So that's one of the very important things. The other one was the collaboration, as you mentioned. We had to create like custom workflows. So let's say there was an editor and there was someone above the editor who needs to approve his content before it goes public. As you mentioned, it was like medical things, and they need to approve that kind of content. So that's one of the things, like multiple roles and multiple workflows. We had, I believe, we have 3 workflows for 3 separate groups. Also, the history. It was very easy to do it with Sanity because as it exposes the API, so we can use the more native way of building documents. We don't need to do it from the admin panel. We can do it with our code, with just executing some scripts. So we are able to create this longer history and also extra functionality to like generate a screenshot of how the page looked like before the changes. It was very important to them. So yeah, that was the three of the most important things for them, like collaboration, scaling, and history extension. Yeah, I believe those 3 were the most important.
Okay, thanks, Jakub. Okay, so the third use case that we see for Sanity is using Sanity for large applications with custom workflows. So this is not typical case from the business perspective, because different kind of businesses might want to have custom editing workflows. Maybe you're editing maybe you need to take the data from multiple sources and then produce content based on this. And also Sanity is heading into this direction, because now they're releasing Sanity Create, and in this solution you can grab different sources of the content, and with AI tool you can easily build new contents. So it's changed from just CMS where you're putting the content, and we see a lot of customers that are doing their content creation process in Google Docs, for example, or ChatGPT or different type of tools, and now maybe they can switch to Sanity Create. So this use case is about large applications with some custom editing, with some bigger team collaboration features or things like that. But Jakub, do you have any other ideas what Sanity technical features might fit here?
Yeah, basically this exposed API, which allow us to do almost anything, almost everywhere. Like we can get any data from the CMS and submit it how we want to third-party platforms. Like you want to do some analytics on your data, you can just grab that, send that to your analytics tool, and do some things. We also made some custom translations, like translations with AI. So if user is publishing a new document, we automatically generate like 3 or 4 languages of this document.
Mm-hmm.
It's also possible thanks to those customization possibilities. I think that there is no like a limit of that. You can
Mm-hmm.
do whatever you need to, but that may be not the best solution, but you will be able to do it. So
Okay.
yeah, this history is a good example of like customization. We also had a feature with like a custom registration flow where users are the data with users is in AWS Cognito, and we want a manual user flow verification, but we don't want to grant access for all of our admin users to AWS because just we don't want it because it's very complex in terms of like how the console looks like there. So we just created a new web panel in Sanity and just put users there and gave them a single button like verify or reject, and it simplifies a lot of processes. So yeah, I think there's no like probably there are some hard limits with API which you can't like go past, but almost any business requirement can be done with Sanity. Which is a factor that differentiates Sanity from others because a lot of them don't have this API exposed this way yet. I know that some of them are working on it. Some of them has like a beta version of that. But yeah, it's a very huge factor.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so now let's speak about other use cases. And I listed 4. Maybe, Jakub, you will be able to add something more, but I see marketing websites. And also thanks to this updated visual editing experience, I think it's Sanity doing better and better. In the past, when we were deciding which CMS to use for specific client, we were thinking about Storyblock because they're having very good editing experience. But now this is not something unique for Storybook. For Storyblock. So Sanity is now much more convenient for marketing websites. The second is e-commerce. So Sanity, as I remember, Shopify invested in Sanity, and also Sanity has great integration with Shopify. So thanks to the Sanity, you can enhance your product descriptions. You can have different types of relationships between the products, and also you can use basically Sanity as PIM, so product information management system, because you can have all of the product information in Sanity. Maybe without the prices, because maybe you want to calculate prices somewhere else, but you can have a great library of your product information. The third is learning platforms. In learning platforms, you have different types of the contents. Also, you can store information about user progress on the lessons, on the chapters, on some specific parts of the learning materials. And the fourth use case that also we had experience with is having Sanity as mobile app backend. And I think this is mainly because you can quickly build this kind of backend in Sanity, and you have great API to work with and communicate with apps for example, in React or React Native or Expo. Yeah, do you see any other use cases that we need to mention here?
The e-commerce was mentioned. The company websites or any websites that contain data is a good fit for CMS. So yeah, but you highlighted most of them. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any like extra. I would be like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think those projects needs to have some amount of customization, because if you're building some basic website, maybe you can just go with Webflow, for example, or some or Framer or some low code no code solution. Sanity is mainly for bigger websites that, and also for clients that know that some small CMSs are limiting them, and they have some custom plans and customization in the future. So also, I think the good use case is when you have a digital product. For example, you have digital product and you have it built in React Native. You have some kind of customer portal maybe, and you want to have some data edited in this customer portal, or you have customer portal and you're adding to that customer facing website. So in the same technology stack, and now it's mainly Next.js, you can have both parts in the same tech stack, and you can feed the data with Sanity as one of your data source. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, Jakub, do you have any last words from technical perspective? Why do you like working with Sanity? And yeah, I guess you're recommending that to some technical leaders as you, but yeah, if you would need to convince somebody, so let's imagine you need to convince a technical leader that has own technical team, and CMO is telling him, okay, we need to change our website because now we are on Drupal 6. We need to migrate to something fresh. And how you would sell Sanity to him. Of course, let's assume that he agree with all of the marketing features and business features, but how you sell it to him from technical perspective and also for your team?
From technical perspective, the biggest factor is, as I mentioned, the like development experience, which like you can build anything that you want. It's scalable. It will be like hosted on their own domain, and you eliminate the risk of failing, like getting data or overloading your API, etc. From more like business perspective, this visual editor experience is much something that may interest users that want to change CMS, because they probably change it either because it's hard to maintain some content, or it's like hard to preview how it will look like when you publish your changes. So yeah, with Sanity we can have this extra visual experience with Studio V3. You can also add this missing workflows if you are scared of like publishing some data without improvement. Your development team will quickly adapt to new tech stack because it's very easy, and it allows us to do almost anything we want. So yeah, mostly those things.
Okay, Jakub. So thanks for today. And dear listeners or dear dear watchers, if you have any questions about Sanity, and if you're trying to pick good CMS for your project, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can help you decide if Sanity is good for your project, if Story block is good for your project, Strappy, Prismic. So those are our main CMSs that we are working with. Yeah, thanks for today, and see you next time. Thanks,
Thank
Jakub.
you. See you.
Bye-bye.